Welcome to Budget Beauty, where I help you look flawless for less. Welcome back, and a very special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen, and this is Budget Beauty. We do everything beauty on a budget, and that includes testing new makeup. This is a video series I started a little while ago, and you guys really love this. It's basically where I test out new makeup, new to me makeup. Most of these are new releases. Some of them aren't. Some of them are things that have come out a while ago that I just got my hands on, or products that I have never tried before that have kind of been on my radar, or I've talked about them in a new makeup releases. I also do a new makeup releases every single Saturday, so make sure you're subscribed and your bell's turned on so you never miss any of my uploads. Down in the description box, I will link all of the new makeup that we're testing today, all of the other makeup that I'm wearing if you're interested in recreating the look, all of my favorite beauty boxes, and don't forget to come on over, follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. So let me zoom you in and let's test new makeup. I really love this testing new makeup series. It's a great way for me to try out new products, new to me products, give you my first impression review, and it also gives me a chance to do my makeup for the day and share that with you. So far, I've done my skincare, my concealer, my foundation. I've set my under eyes. I haven't finished my complexion because we're actually going to test out a brand new cream bronzer and cream blush. Both of those are from LA Girl. Now, I talked about these in my new makeup releases, let you know that I was definitely interested in trying these out. LA Girl is a super affordable brand. If I remember correctly, I believe these are $5 or $6 a piece. I haven't set my face because I always do cream products before powder products. So first thing we're going to do is test out the brand new LA Girl cream bronzer. This is the LA Girl Velvet Contour Bronzer Stick for $5.99. I picked mine up in the color Goddess. So here's the shade Goddess. This is really pretty. One thing I didn't realize is that it has a little bit of a luminous finish to it. I'm wondering if this is going to translate on the skin, if it's going to have a little bit of a glow and luminosity, which I'm not mad about. You guys I love a good glowy product. I love a good cream product, especially as I age. I find that cream products are really great. They don't settle into fine lines and wrinkles, and they just add that more natural, pretty glow. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this bronzer basically to warm up my face. Sometimes I do a contour, sometimes I don't. Today we're just gonna stick with the LA Girl bronzer. Now, I'm not seeing a lot of color coming off. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's pretty light. I may have actually got a too light of a shade, but you know what? We're gonna go with it. Hopefully she is buildable. Start blending that out. And again, I'm just putting it in the places on my face where the sun hits, just to give me that really pretty kind of natural glow. We're completely blended out. Now, I don't see a lot. I mean, I see a little bit of warmth to the skin. Let me see if I can layer it by applying a little bit more of the product. I definitely could have went with a deeper shade. This one on the website, based on swatches and everything, looked like the perfect shade for me. But now, once applying it, I feel like I definitely could have went with a little bit deeper shade. I will say it's very creamy, very blendable. And it is buildable. You can see that I was able to actually build that up a little bit. You can see a little bit more warmth to the skin. It's very beautiful, and it doesn't look shimmery or glittery, but it definitely is glowy, and I like it. It doesn't look like a luminous type of a bronzer, definitely more of just your traditional kind of dewy bronzer. I will say that after layering it up, I like it a lot better. I think that the color payoff was really nice. It looks very natural. And then I also grabbed one of the blushes. This is the Velvet Contour Stick Blush in the shade Pinch Me. These are also $5.99. In addition to the blush and the bronzer stick, they had a highlighter stick. I didn't pick up the highlighter stick because I really am not into cream highlighters. I really love a good powder highlighter because I like that really bold highlight. Now, if you wanted something a little more natural, you could try the highlighter stick and see if you can get that kind of more natural glow. I really love this color. It's this kind of red coral color, beautiful. So I'm going to apply this kind of to the high points of my cheek. Okay, that's definitely giving me payoff. There's a lot of pigmentation and opacity in the blush. I love to use a flat kabuki style brush to blend. Ooh, okay, that is beautiful. That's really pretty. Very, very, very pretty. Definitely blends out a bit. You lose a little bit of the opacity. So let me see about just, again, kind of similar to the bronzer, just layering that up a little bit. So yes, you can definitely layer. That is so beautiful. It's so pretty. I love this color. This color is so fun. Look at that. It's kind of that peachy coral color. I really love the color, and I love that it goes on a little bit more natural, but it is, you can layer it up if you want a little bit more intense blush. Let me go ahead and set my face with powder, do my powder products, my powder bronzer, blush, and highlight. Went ahead and set my face with powder, and now we're ready to do our eyes. And I have a brand new eyeshadow palette to test out, which I'm actually really excited about. This is the brand new Perfect 10 palette from e.l.f. Now, e.l.f. released these Perfect 10 palettes and they went viral. They went viral on TikTok, here on YouTube. These are $10 eyeshadow palettes, 10 pan palettes. Actually, when I went on to Ulta to purchase, there was only 2 palette choices. So you know me and my love for color. I definitely would have went with the more beautiful, colorful palettes, but they were completely sold out. There was 2 neutral palettes left, and I chose this one only because it did have the pops of berry and like this deeper kind of brown green, just to make it a little bit more exciting than just a basic neutral palette. So this is the Perfect 10 palette in the Color Story Rose Gold Sunset. Like I said, these are $10 a piece, which is really nice for 10 pans. And now with e.l.f.'s eyeshadow formula, it can be a little bit hit and miss. Some e.l.f. palettes are really, really good and others are not. So I'm actually excited to test this out with you guys, see if this is worth even the $10 price point. Although it's affordable, it still needs to be good and be worth the money. I went ahead and applied my eye primer. I always use my MAC paint pot in Painterly. So we don't have any shade names in the palette. So the first thing I'm going to do is pick up this shade here, which is kind of an orangey brown neutral. I'm picking that up on a fluffy brush, and I'm going to use that in the crease kind of as my transition shade. Whoa, that is pigmented. That is definitely deeper and more pigmented than I expected. So that was one little tap into the palette, and you know what? It's blending really nicely. It went on pretty opaque, and I'm able to blend that out to make it a little bit more soft as that transition shade. I always like to use a lighter shade, a softer shade as a transition, and then I'll fill it in a little bit. I'll fill my crease in with a little bit deeper shade. So I'm honestly impressed so far with the pigmentation, as well as how easy it is to blend out. Now I'm going to go into this deeper brown shade. It looks like maybe 1 or 2 shades deeper than the one I used as the transition shade. Picking that up on another fluffy brush, and I'm going to focus that right in the crease itself, not going above the crease, because I do want that other shade to pop out above. And I'm going to tap, 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 and then blend to get that crease a little bit deeper, add a little bit of depth. That shade is really pretty as well. It's definitely, like I said, a shade or 2 darker than that transition shade. Again, 1 tap in, blend it out, layered beautifully. And then I'm going to use that same fluffy brush that I did the transition shade with, and again, just blend everything out. I will say that the opacity of the colors stayed, but they blended out and layered really nicely. And then to add some depth to the look, I'm picking up the deepest brown shade in the palette. It looks kind of like a brown purple type of a shade. Picking that up on a denser fluffy brush and tapping that in the outer portion of my eye. That is my go-to. I really like to add depth to my look by putting the deepest shade as I can in that outer corner. That's really nice. That's really nice. It layered on those 2 other shadows beautifully. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more shadow, see if I can build that up without it becoming muddy. Yeah, that's really nice. That is such a beautiful shade. I will say that I appreciate not only that I can build up the opacity, especially of this deeper shade. It's not patchy at all. And I mean, it's layering really nicely on top of 2 other shadows. And then again, with that same fluffy brush, no added shadow, just do a quick little blend. It was able to hold its own. It didn't blend away, added that depth. So far, so good. Using some of my NYX glitter primer. I always use a glitter glue with shimmers. I feel like it keeps them in place, gives them their true opacity, their true pretty shimmer. So I'm going to tap that on my lid. And then as always with shimmers, I like to show you guys application with both a finger and a brush. That's the true test of a shimmer formula to me, is can it be applied with a finger or a brush? Because we all have different ways that we prefer to apply our eyeshadow. I love using my finger, but I know there's a lot of people out there who do not. So I want to show you both. This is where it's hard for me to decide if I want to go with this kind of grungy olive color, or if I want to stick with the more rosy toned shimmers, or if I want to use a little bit of both. I think what I'm going to do is pick up this kind of rosy shimmer. This one is swatched really, really pretty. And I'm going to apply that on the outer about 2/3 of my lid. Okay, that is really pretty. Can you see that? It's kind of like a shimmery copper. That's really, really beautiful. It's very soft, and it's not foiled like an indie shadow, but it definitely gives that really pretty foiled, wet look to the eye. Now using a flat, dense kind of packer brush, I'm going to pick up the pinky shade next to that more coppery one. This is a little bit more pink, a little bit lighter, a little bit more ethereal, and I'm going to put that on the inner portion of my lid. That shade is super pretty. So I just kind of blended that over with that orange copper shade. Kind of gives me sunset vibes. And this shimmer is going on beautifully with a brush, absolutely beautifully. So you can actually apply these shimmers with both a finger or a brush. Now this is the lightest shimmer in the palette. It's kind of a goldy champagne. I'm going to pick that up and use that as my inner corner highlight. Oh wow, that's actually prettier than I thought. That's really pretty. It's goldy, it's kind of a gold shimmer, but it has a little bit of a light pink undertone, which pairs beautifully with these other shimmers. And for my lower lash line, back into that deep shade that I used to deepen up the outer corner, add that depth, I'm going to buff that on my lower lash line. And this is where I'm going to go into that olivey green brown shimmer. I like to add a little shimmer to my lower lash line. It's something I prefer to do, and this will be a great way to test out this shimmer as well. Ooh, I really, really like that on the lower lash line. That's really pretty. One last quick blend with that first brush, no added shadow, just to kind of blend everything together. So there is the completed eye look. This is really beautiful, very sunset vibes, very summer vibes. Let me go ahead and do liner and mascara, and I have a new brow product to test out with you as well. Okay, so I have liner, mascara, added a little bit of lip gloss. Don't forget, everything on my face will be linked down below for you, but I'm really excited to try this product out. I've never tried this from NYX. This is the 02 Brow Gel. I have mine in the shade Espresso. I do have darker hair, so I usually go with a dark brown liner. Here is the component. Ooh, this is interesting. It's just a teeny tiny kind of skinny doe foot. And then the other end, of course, is a spoolie. So again, this is the 02 Brow Longwear Eyebrow Gel. It looks like it comes in about 7 different colors. So how to use, it says step 1, use spoolie to comb, groom brow hairs in place. Number 2, apply to feel the shape and shape brows with the precise doe foot applicator. Use spoolie to gently blend away from harsh liner. Step 3, allow product to dry for 60 seconds without touching to set into place. And then it says for best results, avoid the brow area during cleansing, freehand, or pair with stencils. So let's test this out. So I'm going to brush my brows with the spoolie end. I'm definitely ready for a brow wax. I had one about 3 weeks ago. I go about once a month to get my brows done. And by this point in the process, I'm definitely in need of a brow touch-up, a brow wax. So using the spoolie, I'm going to draw in and fill in my brows. Oh wow, yeah, that fills them in really nicely. You're not going to get hair-like strokes with this product because it's more of a doe foot. But if you're like me and you have a good amount of brows, you just want to fill them in, you know, fill in those sparse areas, even them out a little bit, add a little bit of color to the brows. This is perfect. Very, very easy to use. That doe foot is perfect for filling in the brows. And I'm going to flip it over like the instructions said and just brush my brows into place. I really like this. That was so easy just to fill in my brows. And like I said, you're not going to get laminated brows or a brush hair-like strokes with this. It's more of a tool to fill the brows in and set them into place. So I'm going to let them kind of dry down for about the 60 seconds that the product recommended, and then I want to feel them and see, are they crunchy, are they crispy, are they just set into place? What is the end result of the product? Okay, so it's been 60 seconds. So if they're not crunchy, they actually feel pretty natural, but they're definitely set into place, and that's something I really appreciate because I have pretty crazy brows, especially right before I need a brow wax. I think it looks really nice and very natural, and I appreciate that there's no crunchiness to my brows. So here is the completed look for today. I'm actually going to throw on some gym clothes, pop my hair back into a more appropriate gym ponytail. It's a beautiful morning. It's about 6:30 a.m. The gym in my community opens up at 7. It's Saturday that I'm filming today's video, so it opens a little bit later on the weekends. I'm going to walk to the gym, lift some weights, walk home, and just enjoy a good workout this morning. But I want to share with you my final thoughts on the products we tested in this Testing New Makeup. So first, starting with the LA Girl Velvet Contour Bronzer. I like this product. It's not as opaque as I typically would choose for a cream bronzer that you could use as either a bronzer or a contour. However, that could be my fault. I may have just needed a little bit deeper shade. I will say that it's creamy, it's blendable, it's buildable, it's very pretty on the skin. It's very natural. You don't get those harsh lines like some other cream products. And for the price, you definitely can't beat it. And then the cream blush, I love it. I love the color of this. I love that when you first put it on, it's a little more natural, but it's buildable, so you can build it up and make it a little bit more opaque. I really enjoyed this product. I could definitely see myself buying a couple more shades. And honestly, for an e.l.f. eyeshadow palette, I was pretty impressed with this. I felt like the mattes were pigmented, they were opaque, they were buildable, they were blendable, there was no patchiness. The shimmers are very pretty. They're not, of course, indie shimmers, like I said, but they are still very pretty on the eyes. They give you that kind of wet, subtle sparkle. I used quite a few shades in the palette, and every single shade was beautiful. So I'm happy about this. I think this is definitely worth $10. I would like to pick up maybe one of the colorful palettes. Maybe we'll test that out in the future. But I mean, a 10 pan eyeshadow palette for $10, definitely a great deal. And then for the NYX brow product, I like this. And like I said, if you're interested in drawing in hair-like strokes versus just kind of filling in your brows, this probably isn't the product for you. You're probably going to want to go with more of a pencil style liner that you can just fill it, draw those hair-like strokes. But for me, I have quite a bit of brows. I just need to fill in the sparse areas, and this worked beautifully. And like I said, we are not crunchy, but we are set in place. So I really like this. Espresso is the perfect shade for me. I definitely, based on first impression, will use this and repurchase. So that is Testing New Makeup. We were able to test out 4 new products. I liked every single one of them, which is always a big win. When you buy new products and you really enjoy them, it's always a huge bonus. I would definitely recommend all 4 of these products. As always, I will link them down below for you with all of the other makeup that I'm wearing today. Again, my favorite beauty subscription boxes, and come follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed another Testing New Makeup, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.